Hey everyone, Chloe here, and welcome back to this feminine platform, and welcome back to this channel. And of course, if you are new here, ladies and lurker bums and ear hustlers, welcome. So I wanted to unpack this viral clip from Ms. Ebony K. Williams from the Griot, where Ms. Ebony decided to use the power of her platform to tout the benefits of younger women to keep the Mrs. degree in mind. That once again triggered a lot of anger and caused a lot of women to get upset that I think would make for a great conversation, as well as a much needed updated discussion about men hitting the wall and about what to do when that door of relationship opportunity was either never presented to you or if that door of opportunity has closed. And as a hat tip, of course, the Mrs. Degree is a conversation that all mothers should absolutely be having with their daughters. Now, for house cleaning purposes and for the super triggered and bothered and the disagreeable special snowflakes who don't want kids in a marriage, we all know that you like to argue and tussle. But this video is more than likely not for you. But for those of you who do want a husband and kids, dating with intention will never be a bad thing. And please keep in mind that the Mrs. Degree isn't a guaranteed foolproof idea, but it is a healthy, strategic, long game mindset way to network and build connections, whether in undergrad, graduate school, or medical school if you are marriage minded. And the idea of meeting your husband in university isn't new at all. So, this discussion is a very helpful solution for marriage minded women. Now, of course, with the way that society is set up, the dating and marriage marketplace will always be a numbers game. So, even when a woman can increase her options by dating the rainbow, which I've always recommended because it is a numbers game, but even Ebony has tried dating out. And even with that, of course, a lot of women are going to slip through the cracks. And of course, a lot of women are not going to become mothers and wives by a specific age. Ladies, there are a lot of complexities involved in meeting the right one that a lot of people will try to oversimplify, to either weaponize, to make a mockery out of, or to humiliate single women. And I'm not going to lie, I had to really digest and process this viral video clip before I could respond, because although there is a lot being said, there's also a lot being unspoken behind Ms. Ebony's eyes and within her body language, as the topic of marriage and having a family are clearly becoming a topic that is not only deeply personal and near and dear to Ms. Ebony K. Williams, but she is also using the topics of marriage, stability, and family to trigger much needed conversations and think pieces, responses, and reactions from women and men because there is a hunger for answers. Now, for those of you who haven't heard the clip, please take a listen and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 black women students for every 1 black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision making instead of on the back half.
Now, I first wanted to say that this is a very nuanced conversation that can trigger a lot of whataboutism. But I do not think that Miss Ebony is wrong at all in her Mrs. Degree advice to younger women who are dating with intention and who want marriage and a family. And notice I said want because a lot of women who don't want marriage and kids, for some strange reason, love coming to these videos to argue and cause dissent. But for those of you who do, and this is particularly for my younger listeners, if you haven't done so already, please go watch or rewatch my deeper dive videos, the trio, the Mrs. Degree video, my very popular over 35 video, and my 15-year window video, as all of these deeper dive videos will help you to have a better understanding of what you are up against. And all of those videos will help to better inform your womanhood planning and your decision making. Because women, particularly Black women, are programmed to work, and will often miss their 15-year window or the ring by spring, Mrs. Degree, and both womanhood conversations have certainly been a blind spot for a lot of college-educated Black women because Black women are engineered to be hyper independent, bootstrapping solo acts to their own detriment. And they are trained to live on their own independent islands until they become burnouts. But the facts are you can build wealth and stability faster with a partner. And love is a human need, not a want. So with Ms. Ebony, there are no arguments here. And although her delivery lacked a lot of nuance, I certainly do not think that her intention was to hurt anyone, but it definitely was her intention to go viral. However, on the womanhood front, I wanted to speak more to the energy behind her messaging because, of course, ladies, you are not only valuable as a woman under the age of 30, but Ebony's delivery, in my feminine opinion, had a very strong, quiet sadness about it. And there was a very strong, wounded feminine energy behind her eyes that is clearly speaking more to her possible burnout and her fatigue. And I won't lie, the internets have probably worn her out because her energy is giving defeated. And as a feminine woman, this makes me very sad for her. In her messaging, she's delivering a warning, but she doesn't look or sound empowered. She sounds hurt. She sounds internally broken, discouraged, and more importantly, regretful. And in my opinion, it might be time for her to take a much needed sabbatical so that she can begin the much needed process of restoring herself to wholeness because she looks overworked and tired. Now, contrary to the aggressive, abusive tactics of the manosphere or manosphere sympathizers and their chance of hitting the wall, and those incel rejects and bummettes can kick rocks, but contrary to their repetitive messaging. And of course, Ms. Ebony did not cover these points in her video, but life is not over for a woman just because she turns 40 and she's without kids or a husband. And no, you are not any less of a woman without those things. Now, of course, a woman who is 40 or who is 40 plus cannot play a 20-year-old's game by competing with 20-something-year-olds. That is why I made my 35 and over video. We all know that the game changes when a woman is older because different eras will require different strategies. But for encouragement purposes and because this is a learning platform, ladies, you can find the goddess within yourself at any age. And a 40-year-old and a 40-plus-year-old woman can still very much make empowered adjustments to create the life of her dreams and a life of happiness, which is what the manosphere bums and the bare minimum crew want you to forget. Because what they want more than anything in the world is for you to focus more on seeing yourself as a failure, as if those bums and bumheads do not have regrets of their own. Ebony and women who are in Ebony's position do not have to level down to create a life worth living. Ladies, you can change the narrative and give yourself a fresh start at any age by creating a top-tier feminine wellness plan. And motherhood is not off of the table just because of age. Ebony can adopt Ebony can foster. A woman can freeze her eggs. She can hire a surrogate. She can get an egg donor. She can go the IVF route. She can enlist the help of a massage therapist. She can enlist a nanny, and she can hire a therapist to learn how to safely navigate her past traumas and to learn how to safely grieve her losses and or her devastations. And she can build her A-team support system, and all of these power moves can create a lasting personal joy and happiness, which is what all women of all ages want. Ladies, once you rewrite the script, your possibilities are endless. And for you ear-hustling lurker bums and bumettes who love coming around sniffing, as for men appreciating in value as they get older, I call baloney. Because the part that's always left out is that a man's value can possibly go up with money, not with age. So if you are a 40 or 50-year-old brokey or an average or below average earner, which many of you are, Ebony is not talking about you. Now, I made a video some time ago about men hitting the wall, and I highly suggest that many of you who are new here to either watch it or rewatch it. But for you ear-hustling incels and you arrested development dusty bums, y'all come with a lot of undesirable baggage. And most broke men are either looking for a role reversal, hypergamous come up in a woman, or when they get real broken down and rickety and dusty, they're looking for a nursemaid, but none of those qualities are attractive to any woman of any country. And we all know that the manosphere loves to punch down on women for sport, but nobody ever really respects men who punch down on women for a career. As men age, ladies, their wall will come in a different package. And as quiet as kept as men age, the quality of their fertility also decreases and their ability to make healthy children. So contrary to popular belief, both genders are affected by father time, not just women. So to get this conversation started, is there anything wrong with an older woman wanting to warn the younger generation or wanting the younger generation to learn from their mistakes? And as always, I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. And I thank you for subscribing. And if you know of someone who can benefit from this video, please like and share if you care. And please stay tuned for more commentary to come. And I will catch up with you ladies and lurkers and ear hustlers in the next one.
Nationwide,
Definitely a quartet singer. You sound great.
Can I bring it now?